create the right culture, you have transparency, you prove to people you will listen, you treat them very fairly. I'm convinced that 98% of all the people in the United States will do at least a good job, if not better than that. They want to do well. 2% of them are going to be lazy. They might try to cheat you. You know what? You got to find those people anyway and fire them or coach them or get rid of them. But here's what you can't do. You can't spend all of your time and put policies around the 2 to make sure they don't cheat you. Those 2, I'm going to find them. You know what happens? The 98 gets wrapped up. They're not set free. You need to set the 98 free. Here's your goal as a leader. 95% of all the energy in your company needs to be external. You could say 100, that's crap. We're people. You're still going to complain some about the boss. You're going to complain some about some policy. It's going to happen. There is some internal complaints. Your goal is to get that as low as possible so people are caring about the competition. When I worked on Metamucil, I hated X-Lax and Citrasil. I knew their distribution, their price points, their strategy for their packaging. You gotta measure up. This is competition. External. If you do it internally, what happens is the energy of people's going there. They're trying to compete for a job or they got a bad environment. If you're going to really be a leader and you're going to maximize influence, you have to figure out how to make this external, not internal. I tell my folks, do things I don't know about. You want to talk about making peers and a CEO of a big company freak out. Say stuff like, do things I don't know about. Now, it's a silly thing to make you nervous. It's a 3,500 person organization. Of course they're going to do things you don't know about, but set them free. I'd say do things I don't know about. I went to Johnson City, Tennessee. Call center, 200 people. Walked into the call centers. I'm walking in with the general manager. She says, by the way, that whole do things you don't know about, we got that in play here. I said, really? She said, my turnover was out of control. It cost me $13,000 every time somebody left because I had lack of productivity, hiring costs, ramp-up costs. I couldn't deal with it. I go home one night and I see my teens, and they're on IMing, listening to music, doing homework, and watching Gossip Girl. And she said, these people can multitask. I did my exit interviews. It turns out the reason people left our company was because they had to put their life at the door when they walked in and got on the phones to take care of customers, and they didn't like it. So she said, I turned them loose. I said, you can do anything you want while you're on the phones. You can IM, you can text, you can have fun, you can talk, call your friends, you can play Scrabble. I don't care, as long as your metrics don't change. And at that point, I had to sit down. I said, so I'm going to go into this call center, I'm going to double jack with somebody who's taking care of a billing problem for a customer, and they're just as liable to be playing Scrabble or talking to a friend on the phone. IMing a friend. She said, yeah, pretty much. I actually almost didn't go in. I sat down, I put up with it for a little bit, and I thought, you know, every bone in my body wants to just scream, you can't do this. And then I asked her what her numbers were. Service numbers were flat, sales numbers were up, and retention, everybody was staying. She had the best call center going. So I said, thank you, I'm never coming back, but nice job. Get real leadership. Fundamentally at the bottom, yourself. Non-starter if you don't do that. People, influence, sideways, up, down, I don't care, influence. Then at the top, take care of the business, do your job. If you do that, it is amazing. You don't have to trade relationships for results. You can get both. You can be wildly successful. It's unbelievable how this can pay off. And what it really does is it eliminates the BS. There's nothing. People, when I went away, would say he was a real leader. And my wife said, what do they mean? I said, it's very hard to explain, but at the end of the day, what they mean really is he's not a stuffy executive that uses four-syllable words and thinks he's bigger than himself. All that is just trying to act like a human being and try to make a difference externally and not taking yourself too seriously. It eliminates the BS.